friends, welcome back to the channel Creatively Sandra. If you are new here, I'm Sandra, and on this channel we do all things Disney. Today we are doing a craft project, but it is part of a collaboration hosted by Melick Adventures. So Melick Adventures is Danielle and Ben, and they have been hosting these monthly, actually twice a month collabs of movies, and anything goes. We can show off our collections, our pins, our ear collection, gym shores. You can make a recipe, you can talk about the history of the movie, focus on art, anything. So I've been doing crafting up to this point, and so today I decided to make a pair of ears. So I'm going to include everybody who's participating in the collaboration down below, so you definitely want to check them out. It's been so fun watching everybody choose something different to focus on for their collaboration, and we get to see all kinds of stuff. So you definitely want to go check out all the awesome channels below and watch their videos as well. But let's go ahead and make those ears, and then I'll come back at the end to show you the finished product. Okay, so first the supplies I'm using. I did things a little bit differently this time, and I was able to cut these foam ears on my Cricut machine. So I'm going to use those as the inside of my ear instead of cardboard. I'm not sure if I'm going to need 2 or 3 for each ear. I've got some fabric and some cool Merida themed colors. This is kind of a fake velvet and a satin. I happen to have a headband that matches. We've got some trims that I'm going to be using. I'm not sure which yet, but we'll use one or more of those. I've got some scraps of vinyl, iron-on HTV vinyl that I'm going to use for a bit of her dress. I also have some gems, and I have some other cutouts that I did in a holographic gold. This is the bow and arrow, and this is a bear paw, and I'm gonna have to change the string on the arrow a bit, so I've got a little scrap piece here as well. So I've also got my heat tool heating up to iron on some vinyl, and my glue gun heating up, and let's get started. The first thing I need is to cut out my material for my ears, and I did cut some ahead of time, but I'll just show you what I'm doing for this. Just taking a area. Now it's going to be a little bit hard to see because it's a dark fabric, but I'm just going to draw around the ears and cut. I'm not doing this scientifically or anything. I'm doing about what I think I need as a measurement, and I'm using a Sharpie here. You probably can barely see it, and I can also barely see it, but it'll work out. And so I'm going to cut this one piece of fabric, but the rest is already pre-cut, and we're going to start to iron on as soon as the heat tool is ready. So I did a couple of things, like I said, that I cut out. I'm still trying to decide which I want to go with. I could use the extras on the back as far as the images I want to put on the ears in the gold. Like I said, I mentioned her dress, and I'm going to try to make one side kind of look like her dress. It's actually going to be a combination of her formal dress and her everyday dress, because I don't know, that's what I know, and will look decent. Yeah, this is very willy-nilly because I'm trying to cut on camera. I had to hold it up previously because it's such a kind of loose fabric. So that's going to be for one ear. So what I want to do is make sure I've got my placement right of how the ear is going to sit on the headband, so that I know exactly where to put the images. So if I'm using this as a guide, and again, not very scientific, but I know that my images are going to go this way. So I'm going to want the bear paw here. I could do, he doesn't really matter. The bow and arrow, if I do that, I would like that straight up and down for the bow part, and then of course the arrow will go across it. I think I'm gonna do the bow. All right, so I'm gonna take my other pieces. What I'm gonna do is lay these down how they would be on the back side. And let's get this in place. And that way I can just lay the other one right over top of it, and then that'll tell me where I need to do the iron-on. And actually I should do this on my iron-on board so I don't have to move everything. That looks a little off. Let's move it that way. It's a little better. I'm going to do this one more time on the pad. Okay, I've got 3 done, glued on, and I'm going to do the last one, but I want to do my decorations on this before I glue it over, because I think I have some things that may come along the edge. So I've got to line things back up again to know where I'm working. So I'm just going to put these down and kind of see where things are going. Let's pull this back and so roughly there. I'm going to kind of move that to the middle, so I'm going to work right here. So if this is straight up and down here is going to be here. Maybe we'll just mark it like by putting a pen there. That's going to be our top. So I can feel my foam under here to work with. So what I want to do is kind of do a little bit of her collar. So think of something like that, square collar. And then I'm going to do a little bit of her belt. So let's see what we need from the heat transfer vinyl. I'm just doing this kind of willy-nilly. We'll kind of figure it out as we go. So if I do that, then this can come alongside, so even if it's a little big, I can cover it up with that. All right, let's try that. And I've got more vinyl on here than I need. Actually, let me trim that a little bit. This is going to end up folding over the back. I'm also going to slide my foam out, trying to keep everything in place roughly. And we're going to apply heat again. And I need my pad. Let me get some things out of the way. And slide this in. Now everything's a little off again. Let's just take a quick check. I think this is where we're headed. I'm back and we have a finished pair of ears. A couple things I wanted to comment on that making the pair of ears sometimes for me is a bit chaotic and kind of a trial and error, learn as you go, patch things up. So you will see that. You have seen that if you've gotten to this point in the video, and you'll see I touched up the trim with some gold paint. I forgot to put something on at the end, and so you'll see that on now. And then also gluing my ears together. I had to do that a couple times because they weren't staying firm, and then my trim covers up some of the errors there. So when you see people with handmade ears that they've done themselves and you say, I couldn't do that, and I hope you learn from my mistakes and see that anybody can do this. There are mistakes. I make them too. We just cover them up well sometimes. So fortunately, these are just for me. So they're, I'm not worried about anything bad on them that somebody's going to get from me. So here are the final ears. We've got a little glare there. This is the part, I kind of showed it at the beginning that I had it to put on. And sorry, pause because I thought I put on the wrong thing. So it is a little crest of the 3 bears. And so I just added that on top of the ribbon after the fact, on top of the bow. Okay, so you saw Merida's dress. So this is just to kind of imitate her dress, kind of the collar and the sash. And these are actually on 2 different dresses. And then the gem in the middle there. We have the bow and arrow, which is done in this kind of holographic gold glitter foil heat transfer vinyl. Holographic gold glitter foil heat transfer vinyl. Say that 3 times fast. And then we've got our trim on the end. And see, even I still got a little bit of glue. So the other thing is people say, you know, no-sew ears are much easier and you just use hot glue and you don't have to worry about sewing. Well, you have to worry about all these little hot glue spider webs and getting on the material. I did use a like fake velvet, and that allowed me to iron on without ruining the velvet. If you had used real velvet and tried to use the heat transfer vinyl, I think the velvet wouldn't have held up so well. So I think they came out pretty good. I think there's a good representation. I had the bear claw. I had something else I could have put on there. Oh, I had done this in gold as well, potentially to put on here, but then decided to get more on here and do the arrow, bow and arrow, and then the button. So what do you think? They represent Merida, so it is representation of brave, and I kind of like them. So let me know in the comments down below what you think of them. And are you a fan of the movie? I definitely am. I recently watched it again, and it's a great movie. I love Merida and her beautiful hair. So there's such pretty pins out there that, you know, she's going to be a part of my collection and have a few, at least a few pins of her, even though I'm trying not to start another big collection, but she'll be part of my princesses. So thank you for watching. Like I said, go down and check out all the channels below to see what they did for this particular collaboration. Thank you, Ben and Danielle, for inviting me, letting me participate, and keeping these going because they are a lot of fun and give me another chance to get crafty. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, please do so you don't miss the next video to see what we're doing. And I will see you on the next one. Bye.